Hello, Global 10. This is Miss Kinnearman talking to you. I'm using Screencast-O-Matic to try and create a flipped lesson. This will be mostly a note-taking lesson. I've given you a handout that I would like you to use to complete this. I think that there will be very little of me speaking and a lot more of you writing today. I'll go through this quickly. At some point, you may want to pause the slides because I may go too quick for you. If that's the case, let me know tomorrow, and then I'll clean up my act when I'm making these flipped lessons. This is my second attempt at this, so you guys are going to be telling me how I'm doing, and I'll be asking you some questions tomorrow. Right. Again, this is Fascism in the 20th Century, something old or something new. If you take your notes out and start to take some information from this particular slide, I'm going to leave it up for a little bit. But really what I'm hoping you'll get from this is that two of the major components besides the information here, that you have a single leader and that you have a very, very fearful population. It's based on fear and control. All of these things, we know how that's done because we've done the unit on propaganda. Okay, again, if you don't finish the information, make sure that you just put this on pause and you can continue at your own pace. The idea of modern political ideology of fascism is that it really is trying to create a sense of ethnic and national belonging. It rejects a lot of the ideas that would be a part of who we are here in a democracy, and it promotes, as you'll see in the notes, right-wing fanaticism, racism, totalitarianism, and violence. If you don't understand any of these terms, please just circle them. You can always go out and look them up at dictionary.com, and they'll give you some explanation. But feel free to ask me tomorrow when you come in and we're doing the review of the lesson. Just there are roots to the growth of democracy through parliamentary movements in Great Britain. You'll find that the roots of fascism are linked back directly to the isms that we did in the 1800s, which go back further than the 1800s, obviously. But we are going to review those again and make sure that you understand anti-Semitism, racism, and the one which most kids have the greatest difficulty with is social Darwinism. Please take some information on this. And again, if it's still not making sense to you, this is another point that you should identify in your notes so that we review it, and I'll give you some good examples again tomorrow. Pause this if you need more time. Looking at the people who are going to promote these ideas, the Italian dictator Mussolini in 1912 is going to be the one who's going to utilize this term of fascism. Fascism doesn't start here. The idea of a fascis, a bundle of sticks around an axe, was used in the Roman Empire to represent civic unity. You can see it on some of the poles of the legionnaires, sorry, not the legionnaires, the legions as they go out from the Roman Empire. You'll find that as a part of the basis that what they would carry to identify themselves as the powerful Roman Empire. So again, this is that look back by ultranationalists to what was their glory days and try to pull that forward to create a civic unity and to create ultranationalism. Because these ideologies have a great belief in opposing individualism, you're going to find that they don't fit very well with democratic nations' ideologies today. This stuff is going to look very uncomfortable to most of you. They're going to be in opposition to liberalism, materialism, and very much against communism. although there will be a pact signed, and we'll talk about this in detail when we get to the content part of the war, World War II, there is no love between Stalin and Hitler, because there is no love between fascism and communism. They are opposites of a political pole. Their techniques are similar. There is no room in a fascist state for true science or religion that might identify things that are going against human rights, and the whole idea of having a leisure life or having recreation other than in the pursuit of becoming a more active citizen just doesn't make sense to the visionaries of fascism. Simple form for you to get the whole idea in one nutshell. This is a graph that comes out of N review book, and it puts in very simple terms what are the characteristics, whether you're in Italy or you're in Germany or in countries like Portugal, which also will have fascist leaders. What would you see there? What are the 5 things that you will see that identify it as characteristics? There are more, but these are 5 that will hold you in good stead. Again, pause this if you need more time. Political rallies, the things that we've seen in The Wave, which we watched, the propaganda that we observed and analyzed in posters leading up to World War II, the whole idea of the techniques and methods of propaganda you can see in a simple picture like this. Uniforms, flags, uniformity, symbols, hand signals. It's all there for you to realize that Mussolini had motivated people, moved people to the point that he will be appointed and given a position in a coalition government by Victor Emmanuel, who's the king of Italy at the time. And he stays until 1943. Members of this group were known as black shirts. They were paramilitary, which means they looked like they were part of an army, and the army that they were was to attack anybody or any other political party in Italy that had a different idea than the fascist party had, than the party that supported Benito Mussolini. So these guys will be let's say they're the mirror image of the brown shirts that you'll find in Nazi Germany. Again, when you look at Europe, it's not an isolated phenomenon that there's a fascist movement. It is a European phenomenon. It is out in the world of Spain during the Civil War of the 1930s. And if you've ever read anything by Ernest Hemingway, you know that he would be fighting on the side, he would be recording the information and reporting on the information that was in support of the socialist people who wanted a republic. And on the other side is the Falange Espagnole, which is going to be the fascist movement of General Francisco Franco. Franco will win this. And when we start talking in the future about why do people do nothing when Hitler is coming to power, why can't they see there's a problem, we'll be talking about this, how Spain was, massive civilian casualties in a war led by the most vicious of fascists at that time period, which would be Franco. Other places, again, look for the things that are similar traits. You have the swastika we'll talk about for Nazi Germany, and for Salesi's Hungarian fascist group, it would be the arrow cross. You move into a place like Romania and you have the Iron Guard. Most of these fascist organizations grow during the time period in the 1930s when the economy is so bad that people are desperate for someone to fix things around them. And the fastest, quickest, or what looks to be the most appealing will be the thing that they follow. It won't be the thing that's difficult to do. It will be the thing that looks like it'll work fast. And these guys, using propaganda, are able to promote the idea that they can fix things fast. I'm going to end with this slide, but I wanted you to see the two of these guys paired together. And please, again, using all of the techniques and methods that we learned when you did your initial study of propaganda techniques, and then you did your own slides, your 2 PowerPoint slides, you should be able to identify by looking at this picture all of the things that would bring people into the picture, make them understand who's in charge, what it is about, how they can belong, what they need to do to fit. The Italian dictator Mussolini and obviously Hitler side by side makes it seem like they're in some kind of friendly coalition. They're not. Okay, they were never friends. And in essence, if you ever read anything that Hitler has said about Mussolini, he thinks Mussolini is stupid, all right, that he's inferior. There is no one of non-German blood that Hitler looks out at and says, this is a person that is equal to us. And that is the view of Hitler, and why Blut on Blut, or blood for blood, is so important in the Third Reich. If you had any difficulty with this, again, please let me know tomorrow. I'm all done talking. I'll let this run a little bit in case you need more time. Again, please rerun it. Pause it on the slides that you need to pause for. Let me know how it goes. There'll be a homework assignment tomorrow. There'll be a classwork assignment based on this tomorrow. So those of you that are out there and you've done these notes, you'll know that. And you'll know that you can utilize this stuff tomorrow in class right in the beginning. Anybody that had difficulty getting this to load up or just didn't have access to it, I will run it in the beginning of the period for those kids to try and get this information as well. It is, after all, our first attempt. So do your best. Let me know how it goes. Have a great night.